This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. They knew me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team, I had celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. You probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard top, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright, alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team, I had celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh.
All right. What up, though, everybody? Welcome to... No, hold on. I got to let this readjust. There we go. Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for September 10th, man, as we begin officially week 2 in the National Football League as the Detroit Lions try to avoid 0-2 for the first time since 2021 and give themselves a much better chance to make the playoffs. I did not get a chance to see Amon-Ra's, there we go, the St. Brothers podcast. I did see some things on Twitter about it. I will say this, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. This has been, like, this is getting more difficult for me to do. I'm going to be real with you. And it's not even a team, really. It's the fan base. Like, between Twitter and, it's not really YouTube, but Twitter, man. Twitter's like evil. It's like an evil place, man. Like, you can't have an opinion about the Detroit Lions. The fact that they need some work to do. So anyway, shout out to everybody. We got Shift God. We got Nick 83. What up, what up? They're cooking it over on Woodward with other teams making moves after the first game. You got Eagles who won out there signing Z and a running back and a cornerback. Okay, who did they sign? Nick says, but nah, bro, we good. What's up, Tan? What's good with you? Dern says it's his birthday, man. Congratulations, my guy. Woodward full of friction. Yeah, Woodward is something for sure. Brad not going to trade for nobody. He finna let Clowney walk to the Cowboys. I did see that. What's up, Mike? That Jadeveon Clowney is actually working out for the Cowboys today. Rich Eisen dropped his power rankings, just finished the vid, and he took the Lions off the top 10 and put in the Steelers instead. You know what, Run? I'm going to be real with you, bro. I have not been able to watch Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen has really, I like Rich Eisen. He has really been getting on my nerve as of late. Like, I can't even watch him. So I didn't watch his, one of the favorite parts of Monday for me is Overreaction Monday. I have not been able to watch that. I enjoy Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. I enjoy that, but I have not been able to watch him. I think that he secretly doesn't like the Lions. And I don't know if it's not so secret anymore. Says everything I need to know, says Shift God. It says Lions aren't top 10 a top 10 team until they've proven otherwise. Sorry to say. What up, Wave Kid? What's up? What's up? During everybody's wishing you a happy birthday. Let me see. You want to be back in the top 10, go out there and beat Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cincy. You know what, Shift God? I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it because I was thinking the same thing. The Bears, okay, let's talk about the Bears. The Bears are we should beat the Bears. We got a lot of stuff, but if we beat the Bears, it's like, it's one of those. After that, and I kept confusing the bye week. I thought the bye week was week 5 or whatever. I guess it's later in the year. But I kept confusing. I'm like, if we beat the Bears, so what? Okay, so beating the Bears does 2 things. One, it does 3. It's a division rival, so that's a big deal. 2, it is avoiding 0-2. And 3, it's beating our ex-offensive coordinator. But, okay, the real test is after the Bears. You've got the Cincinnati Bengals coming up. You've got the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the Baltimore Ravens. You got the Philadelphia Eagles. You got a squad coming up. Not these the Giants who look terrible like those guys. Not those guys. We can beat those guys. We should be able to beat those guys. We're expected to beat those guys, right? The Bears are not there. It's a bigger game than it should be, but it's not like, if we beat the Bears, we're back on track. I'm sad to say I haven't looked past the Bears, but the Bears are the only reason this game means something is the 3 things that I said. Division, Benedict the Snake, and the fact that the loser of this game is 0-2. The loser of this game has a 12% chance to make the playoffs. What's up, Fave? What's good with you? We got JMSV. Yo, what up, what up? Aaron Smith, what's up, what's up? What's up, Kay? Says, hey, Derek, I don't know if you saw my big comment on your video recently, but I was wondering if you agree with it. Is it one about Brad, Syndicate Sports Detroit? Bro, I haven't seen it, man. I'm sorry. I've still been recovering from the trip. When you get old, your body hurt. Mm-hmm. When you get over 40, it's a real thing. 40 ain't the new 30, bro. 40 is not when you get in the car and you sit in the car for 15 plus hours, you get pain in places you ain't even know was going to be painful. It's crazy. What up, D? What up, bro? Appreciate you. Nick says they signed Tank Bigsby, RB got Z, and forgot the CB name. I met Woodfire Fox. Oh, you mean the Fox knew, and we argued for about a half hour about the Detroit Lions. That's the black dude, right? What up, B? We not stopping Lamar, Mahomes, or Hurts, bro. Not even Jaden. Oh, I forgot we got Jaden. This is a big game. Players want to prove themselves. Listen to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you know what, D? They should. But it's sad to say, but we low key, we kind of passed the Bears. We all right, we need to win this game. There's no doubt. But the real test is coming up. That's why I said yesterday on Twitter. I said, if the Lions lose this game, they got a legit chance to be 0-5. Real talk. No, they could be 1-5, 1-4. We can beat the Browns. But if we can't beat the Bears, can we say we can beat the Browns? Real talk, man. So this, it's so crazy, man, because I was yo, man, I'm running this stuff back in my head, and I'm just man, I miss the days of sitting on the couch watching the game. And for those 3 hours, when I would have to watch Rich Eisen or Pat McAfee wasn't around at the time, but I would have to watch, you know what I used to watch? I used to watch NFL Game Day Final on NFL Network. It had Marshall Faulk, Deion Sanders, Rich Eisen was on there for a little bit. It had Steve Mariucci and Deion Sanders, right? And I used to watch that. That's how I got all my football fix. That's how I found out, I would watch and see what happened that day. They would run over the whole thing, and I would watch that at the end of, it would come on at the end of Sunday night, man, and I would watch that. And I kind of miss those days because everybody has an opinion, which is fine, but you're not entitled. You can't have your opinion. You cannot have your opinion. And one thing I'm never going to do, y'all, is change. I'm not going to change no matter what happens to me, no matter what I'm getting pulled through. I'm not going to change, man. I'm not going to change at all. Do you still want to travel to away games, or are you going to chill in your house for a while? Okay, Run. So here's the deal, bro. I'm still going to go. I'm still going to go. Baltimore, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go to Baltimore because a lot of these games I was going to drive to. I will say this. If I don't go to games, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I can't afford to. Because I was going to drive to a lot of these places. But after what I just went through, Kansas City was a barometer of, Green Bay was a barometer of what I could or couldn't handle. And it showed me that my max driving, like I'm driving to Cincinnati, it's 4 hours. By the time you get tired, good, you're there. I'm going to drive back. The Hall of Fame game, easy. Lucas Oil Stadium, easy work. Soldier Field, easy work. Like 3, 4, 5 hours, but 7 one way, that's 5 is where I draw the line. So if it's 5 hours one way, I'm going to have to fly. So I plan to still go, but will I go is a different question. Mike says, I used to watch that. I love that too. I forgot we played Myles Garrett. Man, yo. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bro, that offensive line with Myles Garrett. So Taylor Decker, Panay Sewell, or one of them cats in the middle. We might have to pay for Jared. We might have to pray for Jared, bro. Wow, what's up, John? Hey, now y'all see why I was so mad in 2023? Walking out of Levi Stadium with a 17-point lead blown. 2023 might have been our best chance, bro. Oh, no. Wow. I'm going to tell y'all what, man. I'm extremely, extremely tired. Like, I'm really, really tired, man. I'm still recovering from the trip. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Let me bring in Dan Campbell's press conference. I have not heard this at all. Shout out to the sound as well, because the sound they've been consistently better with the Lion sound. So, but I did hear that Alex Anzalone, I wanted to talk about him and his comments. And I also wanted to talk about, it's Wednesday. So Wednesday is when they put out the game previews for the next week. So that is already out. The Detroit Lions one is already out. What's up, B? Appreciate that, man, with the donation. Says, not only Lamar Jackson, we play against Derrick Henry, who's still a dog. Oh, absolutely. He's still a dog. The good thing, B, is we were still pretty decent against the run, but absolutely. He's still a dog for sure. Okay. Let me find this real quick, and then I'll put up. All right. Oh, he was on for 13 minutes, huh? All right, let's do it, man. Man, oh, man. Which one is this? Okay, that's that one. So I've been hearing, so somebody asked, you know what, let me get into it first. All right, let me pull this up. Okay. I don't know, man. Is it just me, y'all, or do we feel a difference in the, it's like something's different in the air, man. I don't know what it is. I can't really pinpoint it, but something feels different in the air. All right, here is Dan Campbell from 3 hours ago addressing the media.
Morning. How are we doing? Okay. Back at it, man. It's good to get back to work. So, day one, ready to roll. You guys, questions?
Actually, I don't know before, but Jameson Williams signed this extension the day before the season. Just how was it to get that out the way before the season started? And just the thought process behind getting out the way early.
Yeah, it's good. As much as you can kind of get that business side out of the way, it's good. We were hoping it would have been done sooner than that, but it doesn't always work that way. So glad to get it done. J-Mo's come a long way, and we expect a lot more out of him too. So it's good.
Obviously, a lot of talk about Ben Johnson this week, but Dennis Allen and you have a
Yeah.
pretty lengthy relationship as well. He's been a good coordinator in this league for a long time. What is it about his defenses? What are maybe some of the hallmarks of what those groups do and why he's been so successful?
Very detailed. He's very detailed. His guys always play hard. Man, the essence of defense, man. They run, they hit, they challenge. And they make it hard on you. Nothing comes easy. He covers himself a lot, man. Like he's kind of been through it all. He knows where people are trying to expose that defense, and so he's got answers for everything. And like I say, when you accompany that with the way they play, that's why he always has really good defenses. So he's an excellent communicator, knows how to teach. Energetic, passionate. So all of those things are always going to rub off on your players. So I got a lot of respect for D. I got a lot of respect for all those coaches. It's a hell of a staff over there. It really is.
Rewatching that Packers game again the other day, it was clear they weren't going to let Hutch beat them, with the chips and kind of everything they were doing pass pro. How much do you expect the Bears, really every team, I guess, to do the same thing until someone else proves they can win opposite him or somewhere else on the line?
Yeah, I think anybody we play is going to. I always think of what I do, WWD, D, and I would not let Hutch wreck a game. There's no way. So they will have answers. They're not going to let him just, particularly on passing downs. They're not going to let him ever have a one-on-one, and if they do, it'd be rare. So or balls out really quick. So. They will, and he knows that. We know that. It's understood. So that's the game he has to play, and that's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
All right, so I have a couple thoughts on this, and this year's going to be a little different on as far as how we approach the Lions. Last year, I made a video. This was before I made two of them before Hutch got hurt, and one of them was titled "Wearing Hutch Out." And he was about to have the best season of his career as a pro, and he was all we had back then. And it sounds like to me, Brad showed us that that's all he cares about, that we have one elite pass rusher who fell in our lap. Dan just said pretty much that, like, you want to make the big bucks, you gonna earn these sacks. This is what you up against. You gonna be double teamed. They know who you are. We know who you are. We know that they know who you are. If you want this money, go earn it. As far as help on the other side, you won't get what you got. What you got is what you got. Jadeveon Clowney is not going to be a Detroit Lion. He got too many kind of bumps in the road. Brad he ain't going to have nothing to do with him. That's why he ain't going to come in here to work out. This is the year that we wear him up. We wear him out. If you look at his play, he was still doing his thing, but he was playing a little scared, and I'm not mad at him. Last time he was on the field in period, like in an actual game, he broke his leg. So he's going to take some time to mentally get past that. I don't know how they do it. I broke my femur twice. The same femur twice. And I don't know. I couldn't imagine getting over an injury like that and doing the same thing that got you injured. He's playing scared. Right? This is the year that that we wear him out. Like, real talk. I even thought about it today. I said, what if Brad, Jacksonville seems like they kind of having a fire sale, like not a fire sale, but like trading some pieces. What if he tries to get Trayvon Walker? Obviously, Lions fans want him because my video did extremely well. We would kill, like I literally would kill for Trayvon Walker right now. I got to believe that Brad has something up his sleeve. I got to, because this is a big year. Lions missed the playoffs. You gonna hear about it. Like, I don't even have to say anything. You're going to hear about it. But I don't like what I'm hearing. Like, I just don't feel, between Hutch recovering and the fact that Marcus Davenport after one game was a non-factor. And let me remind you that he had the best year of his career game-wise. He had half a sack. Just sit on that. Sit on that. So I don't like what I'm hearing from, and it's not what Dan Campbell is saying. It's what I'm picking up.
But it also means other guys got to step up and win, and it'll be about us.
That's the part I don't like. Other guys got to, it's true, but is it possible? Is it really going to be a thing? Those other guys, do you know that most of them played in the preseason? Most of those other guys played in the preseason. Like, they did. Mohammed, and I said Agude, but he's not on the team. And Uku's cut, right? I think we're going to know very clear what we have. And we're going to see.
Putting other guys in positions to where we think we'll draw some of those, and they got to win and win quickly.
Particularly your interior defensive linemen, do they have a little more in them than they showed in that regard?
Yeah, I do. I believe that. I think there's more to give everywhere. I mean, that's the most obvious.
Hey, shout out to Cassandra. Mike McDaniel will be fired this year. He almost got fired last year. Unless the Miami Dolphins turn this thing around, he will be fired. I could see a mid-season firing. My Dolphins guys are going crazy. Their channel is going crazy. They are in fire mode right now. If he doesn't, they might even trade Tyreek Hill back to Kansas. Just craziness. But he will be fired this year. I don't think him and Dan will get along. I don't think he would. The way the Lions run this organization, he too goofy to be over here.
The coaches, right? The players, what we do fundamentally, technique-wise, how we set it up a little bit. And so I would anticipate us being much better this week.
In that
The
regard,
offensive line issues, so to speak, that probably had a big effect on the lack of the diminished running game. How imperative is it to get that going? Because it seems like everything starts with your running game.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But we will. I mean, we will. We're going to be out there today, man. We're going to address it head on. We talked about it in walkthrough, the focus, the footwork, the little things, and we're going to make sure that we establish that today, day one in practice, and that we're on point with our footwork, man, our hat placement, all the little things, man. We're ID'd correctly. We're coming off the ball, and or if not, we'll do it again, and we'll get it right. We'll get it right. We'll get it right, and we are going to be much better. We will be much better.
Impression of the Bears offense in their first game under Ben?
Did a really good job. I thought that, man, I thought they played pretty fast. Those receivers were moving. I thought the shifts, the motions. I thought the O-line came off the ball. Swift ran hard. Quarterback played fast. It was. I thought it looked really good, man. Looked pretty good.
Okay, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know who is Charlie Kirk. I don't know who he is. Should I know who he is? I'm looking on Twitter while Dan is, I was looking for something else and I see, so I don't know who he is. Let's let Dan finish and I guess you guys can let me know.
Which is what I would expect from Ben's unit. So, look, they get good players over there and, he's got the system in, and it's about attacking the opponent. And we got good players over here too. And all
right, so here's what we're gonna do, y'all. Here's what we're gonna do, and I'm trying to be respectful. That is not. Nobody deserves that to be hurt in any way. I saw a girl get stabbed on the bus or something like that. I have no idea. I don't even watch the news because it's so depressing. It will literally have you shook at night. I don't want to talk. Prayers for nobody deserves that stuff, but we're not bringing that here. We are not bringing that. I'm not doing that. Okay. So hopefully he, I don't know the outcome. Hopefully he survives or whatever, but that's as much as I want to talk about. You can barely get through sports and be, but we're going to save that for a different show. There are shows that you can go watch that will be, talking about this. This is not one of them, but hopefully he does recover. That is not, nobody should have to go through that, but we're going to save that. That's going to be for somewhere else.
Pretty prideful, and so we just got to play our rules, apply our rules, and make sure that we get it right in practice and carry it over into the game.
You guys were very creative when he was here with some of the trick plays and stuff. How do you protect against some of that this week? And knowing that he does some of that, how does that help you? I guess?
Well, I think you'll practice one or two things. You do for every opponent, but I mean I don't really care about trick plays.
Hold on. Let me say this. I'm not faulting anybody, but there's a couple things you don't talk about, right? Religion, politics, those are two things that you just don't talk about. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. All right, so this is, even though they do the national anthem and they fly over with the Jetsons, which is super cool, by the way. It was a really, really big one in Green Bay. This thing was this airplane was giant. It was slow, but it was big. It's just, there's a reason, right? People. So anyway, we all good. I'm not bringing that over here.
Let's just handle the meat and potatoes of an offense, a defense, what we think they're going to hang their hat on. And let's stop that first. Let's worry about that. Let's make sure we're all on point, and we'll handle the other stuff with our rules. You got to have proper eyes, man. We give you those rules for a reason. And look, they may hit us on one. That's all right. That happens. Get back in the huddle and let's go to the next play.
Or maybe you guys never ran it in a game that you're just especially conscious of, something that you practice but never.
No, look, we've got a menu, a very large menu of things. So, there can be anything, but we'll be good. I mean, you can't sit there and paralyze yourself with what if. The most important thing is you'll get in trouble if you don't handle the nuts and bolts of an offense. If you can't stop the run, we bleed out explosives, then that's where you can get in trouble. So I'm not worried about the other stuff.
From that, we go through this with every loss that you guys have, the outside doubt. But after week one, after a new offseason, I'm not sure if you're familiar with all the opinions out there, but they are loud, as they seemingly always are. How much will that fuel your tank? How much will that fuel your message, if at all, this week to you?
You know what fuels my tank is losing, all right? That fuels me because I don't like losing. Our players don't like it. And you go back to work, man, and you get back to the basics of what you do, man, and you hit it head on. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We're all accountable. And if we want to win, we got to do the little things right and prepare that way. And then we got to play that way. So that's what gets me going.
Given what you guys have accomplished the last 3 years, I mean, are you surprised by the alarmed reaction there, and do you feel like you deserve the benefit of the doubt?
No, because that's where the standards are at now. So that's
go.
The nature of what
there we go. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. I love to hear that. I'm going to run that back. I love to hear. That's where the standards are, Dan. You don't go out there and lay an egg. That's why this man, to me, he survives Brad Holmes. I love that comment. That made me all giddy inside. These are the standards. We walking around here with our head up like we better than everybody else, so we need to show up like that. You cannot play like you did on Sunday. This is the standard. This is how you stick around for 20 years as head coach. As the Pittsburgh Steelers say, the standard is the standard. This is the standard, bruh. I don't know about y'all, but Dan he gives me way more boss vibes than Brad Holmes. I'm going to be real. And I don't dislike the man. They work as a team. I love this. That's where the standard is now. That's what we're expected to do. So, of course, that tells me that he appreciates us. He appreciates what we go through. This guy used to play the game for this team. I love this, bro.
Now,
The last 3 years, I mean, are you surprised by the alarmed reaction there, and do you feel like you deserve the benefit of the doubt?
No, because that's where the standards are at now. So that's the nature of what we're in right now, and that's a good thing. That means that we've risen above what we were at one time.
There we go.
That's our world, man.
I love this, bro.
But I know that if we felt that way and acted that way, we'd be in trouble. And so we can't worry about all that.
You're darn right. You're darn right. That's what I'm talking about. His job is to coach this team to win. Our job is to spaz out. That's what we do. Because the standard has been risen. I love this, bro. I wish I heard this stuff from Brad. I wish I heard stuff like this from Brad Holmes, man.
And I mentioned this the other day. All you worry about is getting better. You really do. We got to get much better with our fundamentals and communication. Just those two things alone. And if we improve that a whole nother step above what we did last week, we're going to be much better.
Hey, you know what, Super Jugger? Hey, for sure. That's right, man. Dan Campbell was part of the 0-16 team. He was hurt, but he was there. I love this, bro. Look, let me cut to me real quick. I don't dislike Brad Holmes. I don't, man. But you don't even feel the same. Like when we come at with Dan Campbell, it's like take the points. Me and the homie was sitting in Green Bay. I almost hit me and the homie was sitting in Green Bay, and I said, watch, we knew Dan Campbell was gonna go for it. He went for it, he converted the one fourth down. I thought he was gonna go for it again later in the game. He took the points. It was our first 3 points. He took the points. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, bro. I wish I heard this type of stuff from Brad. Brad is, well, we got one pass. We got an elite pass. How many teams in the NFL, right? 32, right? And how many elite pass rushers would you say in the NFL? About 6 or 7, right? And we have one. We have one. It's the same. Yeah, you know what? After I let Brad finish, I'm going to have a conversation about Brad Holmes, and I want y'all opinion. Something I was thinking about last night.
And then let's get a little bit better the next week, and it'll take care of itself. It really will.
From the meat and potatoes perspective, Dan, they invested a lot in 2 rookies in Loveland and Burden. I'm just curious, they didn't see a lot of, balls their way in the opener. How do you, prepare for rookies that are clearly going to be a big part of what they do eventually?
Yeah, well, look, they are both of those guys are good players. We like both of them, and Loveland's he's a mismatch piece.
What up, Joe? Good to see you, my friend.
And look, he'll mix it up in the run game, but he's a pretty dynamic receiver, has dynamic ability, and he can stretch the field. He's big, he's long, he's got really good hands. So there's no secret they'll try to use him. And I just go back to this. There'll be times where where there's a one-on-one and we got to take advantage of that, or they will. And then we got to mix some looks up, and no different than any other team that we play with. And guys got to do their job.
When you face off against
Jeremy, John, Tim.
When you face off against a defense.
All right, so this is Jeremy. John is the guy. His question is next, and that's what I'm hearing. I guess he got Dan Campbell feeling some type of way. So John has been on fire, bro. I watched his live stream when I was driving home from Green Bay, and he was feeling some type of way. So I can't wait to hear this question. I heard about the question before I heard the question itself. So it's not this one. This is Jeremy. It's the one after this.
Like the Packers last week that are kind of dictating all those checkdowns. What do you do as an offense to kind of flip the dynamic and make sure that you guys are the one dictating what they do?
Well, I think a lot of what really came out of that game and what it was like to me, if we'd gotten ourselves in a hole, and it really, when it became a 3-score game, that's where it really got hard. It wasn't a 2-score game. If you can just pull it within 1 score, we're good to go.
Hey,
but
y'all making me nervous. y'all making, should I be nervous for Dan Campbell's reaction to John? Y'all making me nervous in the comments, bro.
Game, then it becomes very hard, because now they know you have to go over the top. And so I do think when you play that, the right thing to do is to stay patient with it. You have to stop. Look, I mentioned this other day, you go 31 of 39, right? You got 30 minutes of time of possession, and you had 22 carries on the ground. That smells of you're winning the game. But we didn't do enough, right? It's not enough. And so we tried to play it right. We just didn't execute. And we had a turnover. And so I think what we did was right, and you have to just stay in that. You have to stay in that.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, chat. I sound like I show speed. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a segment from this. I have not heard or seen any. All I've seen is Twitter's reaction, but I want my authentic reaction to this question. So I'm gonna make that a segment. So I'm gonna be recording after Dan finished answering this question. But he's Dan smiling now. Oh boy. Here we go.
Just play that game for a while, stay patient, and because I do believe we get in there, we get within 1 score, defense gets a stop. Now all of a sudden, man, you're good. You got times, you got timeouts, but you get in that type of game, it gets really hard.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me pull up my stuff right here. Okay. It's been a tough week for the Detroit Lions, and the week isn't over. We officially began the week Wednesday begins the new league week. We got to put everything behind us from the previous Sunday and come forward with and focus our attention on the next game at hand. And for the Detroit Lions, that is the Chicago Bears. And one of these teams will be 0-2. That team will have a 12% chance to make the playoffs. Now, you guys know that I'm a fan. That's what I am. I don't want to be an analyst. I do not want to be a talking head. I don't want to be credentialed because I would ask the questions that you guys wanted me to ask. Speaking of that, I have not heard this, but I heard about it. It is a question that appears to be asked by John Macroon of Detroit Lions on SI. And again, I've heard about the question or the reaction to the question before I heard the actual question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a live reaction of the whatever question, because it's got all of Twitter talking about whatever question it is. So this is my first time hearing it. Here's what John asked Dan Campbell, I guess. And apparently it had Dan feeling some type of way. Let's see what we talking about. Oh boy, I'm kind of nervous.
With just how good the offense was last year under Ben Johnson, people are just wondering, myself just included, would it have been feasible just to, even I know John's a different coordinator, but would it have been feasible to just, Jared talked about changes in communication, there wasn't a lot of pre-snap motion. Would it have been feasible just to run the exact same offense as last year?
What are you asking? What did Jared say?
I'm saying your offense last year.
Well, no, you said something Jared said, so let me hear it.
Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Ooh, hold on, man. Look at the reaction. Wait, no, hold on. You said, Jared said, what? Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on. All right, let me run it back. Let me run it back a little bit.
Just to, even I know John's a different coordinator, but would it have been feasible to just, Jared talked about changes in communication, there wasn't a lot of pre-snap motion. Would it have been feasible just to run the exact same offense as last year?
What are you asking? What did Jared say?
I'm saying your offense last year.
Well, no, you said something Jared said, so let me hear it.
Changes in communication.
Yeah, but you said something about emotions and keep.
Yeah, I'm saying that would it have been feasible to, and people are wondering, the offense looks drastically different than it does last year. Would it have been feasible to just exactly run the exact same offense?
So after one game, tell me what it looks like that's drastically different.
Pre-snap motions. Explosive plays weren't there, wasn't as creative, wasn't as...
You didn't see any pre-snap motions in that game?
As much as we've seen before.
I want you to go back and look at all of our motions, pre-snap motions, fast motion shifts on the road.
Last question.
Oh, why? Wow. John that's my dog, man. Ooh. Wow. John, hey, listen. John had Dan Campbell like Birdman. He pulled up in the Breakfast Club and said, "You gonna put some respect on my name." He said all three of y'all. Dang. Wait for John to handle himself, though. He ain't get the I say he ain't get caught up. He stayed as But hey. So if you notice, if I want to know what happened after this, I want to know what happened after this. Shout out to John, man, because there's a very particular person. His name is Grant Cohen. He's a San Francisco 49er credential guy, and everybody hates this dude. They hate him. The people see him coming. They hate him. Kyle Shanahan, they hate this guy, right? And that's how I would be if I was part. They would hate me. Like they'd be like, Derek, they would tell me we were meeting somewhere else and I wouldn't be in the room. But the dismissiveness, you can tell that the PR staff, they stepped in and look, wait a minute. Yo, look at the body language of Dan Campbell. Now, John is over here somewhere. Dan has already shifted his attention, but the PR people canceled it before. Let's run it back.
Wondering myself.
I'll stay patient, and because I do believe.
Right. So Dan went from smiling to growling. He went from smiling to growling. Wait a minute. Wait. You said what? But watch the PR. They cut this thing off.
If we get in there, we get within one score, defense gets a stop. Now all of a sudden, man, you're good. You got times, you got timeouts, but you get in that type of game, it gets really hard.
With just how good the offense was last year under Ben Johnson, people are just wondering, myself just included, would it have been feasible just to, even I know John's a different coordinator, but would it have been feasible to just, Jared talked about changes in communication, there wasn't a lot of pre-snap motion, would it have been feasible just to run the exact same offense as last year?
What are you asking? What did Jared say?
I'm saying your offense last year.
Well, no, you said something Jared said, so let me hear it.
Changes in communication.
Yeah, but you said something about emotions and keep.
Yeah, I'm saying that would it have been feasible to, and people are wondering, the offense.
Hey, you can see Dan. You can see Dan right there. That he got the podium gripped. He went from playing that with that paper to gripping that podium. That's a whole different. Hey, I gotta listen. I'm not making. I love the question. I love the question. I love that John stood his ground. I absolutely love it. But I'm also afraid for him. I'm afraid for him, bro. I'm afraid he gonna get kicked out of the room. I'm afraid Dan was about to throw that podium. He said, "Ooh."
Drastically different than it does last year. Would it have been feasible to just exactly run the exact same offense?
So after one game, tell me what it looks like that's drastically different.
Not a lot of pre-snap motions. Explosive plays weren't there. Wasn't as creative. Wasn't as.
You didn't see any pre-snap motions in that game?
As much as we've seen before.
I want you to go back and look at all of our motions, pre-snap motions, fast motion shifts on the road.
Last question.
Now that was they came in and cut that. They came in. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. Hey, listen, I got to give a shout out to John, man, because the fan base was disappointed in the offense, and we are going to have to recover. We're going to have to adjust from our previous coordinator. There's no doubt about it. And although on paper it didn't look as bad as it looked in real time, I was there. The team only had 1 yard through like a quarter and a half. So there was a lot of, I think Dan Campbell was a little upset because he's been hearing this a lot. We just talked about in the earlier part of his press conference how he said that the standard for the Lions has changed. So he doesn't mind the murmurs coming from the fan base and from others, right? Because the standard has been elevated to a level that this is what they come to expect. And I appreciate that. I think this reaction was because these guys, they trying to hold it together too. The players, the coaches, they trying to hold it together. Dan is already upset. He had to lose. He said that you got 24 hours to get over it, then you have to move on. Obviously, he hasn't. He has not moved on because immediately after talking to John, when the conversation was over, he ungripped that podium. That right there, that face right there is catch me outside. How about that? that's I'm gonna see you outside. All right. So, John, way to stand in there, bro. Way to, and the fan, and you know what? Somebody else too, Dave Burkett, he asked the tough questions as well. He gets shunned a lot, but I appreciate somebody willing to take the heat for the fans because he spoke how we felt. Right? Me, you already know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be asking, I'm going to be like, where Brad at? Where I want to talk to Brad. Every single question that I asked would be about the pass rush. They would hate to see me coming. So that's what I would do. Shout out to John. Way to take one for the team and meaning the team of the fan base, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Woo-wee. Hey, nephew. For real, though. Oh, listen. All right. Hey, nephew said you get your filthy hands on. Okay, so there is a clip. Denzel Washington. I forgot what movie it was in. It was an old movie. And he was like in the army. He was in like the military. And oh my God, man. There's two Denzel say, man, Denzel got bars, bro. Oh my God. Glory. Okay, it's Glory. No, hey, so B, you talking about the Jamie Foxx one. You get your filthy hands off me. But then, that's the same podcast. It's a Grey Goose. I think it's a Grey Goose podcast. They don't even do it anymore. They should do it. And Jamie says, Denzel tells a story. I'm gonna put that on the soundboard. He tells a story about he was up for an Oscar. And I think it might have been Glory. He was up for an Oscar. Yeah, because Sean Connery was up for The Untouchables. And he said that they gave Sean Connery a 3-minute standing ovation for presenting an award. And he said he went to go get the coats. And because he knew he wasn't going to win, and he did not win an Oscar. I think it did go to Sean Connery. So, man, oh, man. Woo, okay, hold on. Man. Derek, if you were there, Dan would be like, you catch me outside, how about that? They would take my season pass. They would take my season pass. They would hate to see me coming because I would ask the same question all the time. We got a super chat. Let me pop this out. Oh, my God. We got to pop this out. Shout out to C Pool with the dono. Says if the Lions go 0-2, I would love to see John's question. Aaron says, like Denzel goes upside the guy's head with a glass bottle and Malcolm X for talking about Denzel's mother. Man, so I found out that his name is not Denzel. It's actually pronounced Denzel. His mom started calling him Denzel because he's actually Denzel the second or something like that. So to differentiate between his dad and him, his mom started calling him Denzel instead of Denzel. So if it was Denzel, she was talking about the kid, and if it was Denzel, it was the dad. So his name is Denzel Washington, something, the third or the second or something like that. This dude is like 70 years old, and we just found out that his name is not. Okay, that's a soldier story. Hey, hey, Leo, I'm leaving with something. I see a big tray. I'm leaving here with something. I'm from round the way. I'm leaving with something. Oh my goodness, man. Hot take. The Lions, Leo says I'm not calling him that. But could you imagine, like, if my name's Derek, if somebody was calling me Derek, like you like Derek, and you just like Derek, it becomes my name. That would be crazy. What's up, Ship? Says, so Derek, Dan, what can you tell me about the 96 pick? You know what? I wouldn't even ask no questions. I save all my questions for Brad, bro. All of my questions would be for Brad. Says his name is Bradley Matthias Gerald Dollar Tree Store Homes. That is hilarious, man. Oh man, I'd be up in the they'd be like, Derek, you want to ask some questions? Nope. I'm waiting on Brad. I'm leaving here with something. Hey, shout out to John No for taking one for the team. All right, so we got to have another segment, man, and then we'll wrap up the show after that. You should bring your soundboard. Oh man, oh man. All right, let me get to it, bro. Oh man, y'all got me. Look, we got to finish before we don't end the show with some real talk. So after we do the segment, we'll end the show with some real talk, man. Every episode we got to have some real talk. And I didn't get to finish my last real talk conversation because my Micah Parsons was traded that day. All right, so let's get it going. I'm sorry. Dan, woo, man, oh man. All right. Oh man. Oh, touchdown Detroit Lions should be returning soon as well. So the Detroit Lions picked up exactly where they finished last year, without a sack in their first game against the Green Bay Packers. They did not touch Jaden Daniels in the NFC divisional round, nor did they sack Jordan Love. And sacks are they looking like they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. Now, the Detroit, you might say, well, Derek, what's the problem here? The problem is very simple. The Detroit Lions have had they've had a problem getting to the quarterback, whether it's interior or from the edge. And now we're down Aleem McNeil. DJ Reader is good for 3.5. Aleem McNeil was good for double that. He really was. And we got a rookie playing in Aleem's spot, and we have Marcus Davenport on the other side. And I keep bringing up this stat because it is a fact. The best career year of Marcus Davenport, game-wise, when he played 15, he also had 0.5 sacks. For those of you who are not sure, that's half a sack. So he played 15 games, which was the most in his career, had half a sack. Nobody came. The only person that came close, really, that I saw from the stands, I didn't get to watch it back yet, was Aiden. Almost had a sack. That would have been great. His last game went out on a sack, came back on a sack. Aiden's going to take a while, in my opinion, to get over the mental hurdle of being hurt. Last time he was on the field, other than Sunday, is the day he got hurt. Playing a real, actual game. He did not play at all during the preseason. Trying to come back for the playoffs. But the Detroit Lions, sacks are going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. Right now, they are. They were one. I'm going to show you something that when I heard this, it blew my mind. The Detroit Lions, we're going to go here first. We're going to go up top. The Denver Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, led the team in sacks in 2024, and they picked up right where they left off. We're going to look at the top 10 teams. Denver Broncos with 6, and they just paid somebody, like a big Benito Jones, I believe it was. New Orleans Saints, the Green Bay Packers, they got 4 on our Detroit Lions. Las Vegas Raiders, then you have, rounding up the top 5, is the New England Patriots with 4. The next 5 would be the New York Jets, the Chicago Bears, the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans, and the Indianapolis Colts. All of those have at least 3 sacks. We're going to go back up here, and you're going to see a stat that's not going to be surprising. The Detroit Lions were one of 3 teams to not get 1 sack in week 1 of the National Football League. The Philadelphia Eagles were the other. They lost Jalen Carter, who's essentially, since he missed the entire game after the stupid spitting infraction, they counted that as a 1-game suspension, which is garbage to me. He was in the game. He should have to serve another game. But that's the NFL. The Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers. The difference between this team and this team is a lot. You've got a Super Bowl winning general manager. You have a general manager that's willing to take risk. And you have a team coming off a Super Bowl. And you have a team that acquired Zadarius Smith directly after this game. Like a couple days after this game, they signed him. 72 hours to be exact. They signed Zadarius Smith. We, on the other hand, are with the abomination Carolina Panthers. This is us. If this number stays zero, it's not going to stay 0. But this being low like this team is not winning a Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I'm going to stand on that. The Lions will not win a Super Bowl bottom of the league in sacks. Now, we're going to do a video today on Lion Syndicate about the Detroit Lions defense through week 1, where we take a look at about 10 different, we take a look at a lot of different categories. That is every Wednesday. The Lions are not going to win a Super Bowl with performances like that. That's just it. And if the game plan is to plan for Hutch, Dan Campbell said someone has to step up. Who would that someone be? Is that someone even on our team? Even on our team. And since we got the subject of the guy that they trusted so much, let's pull up his numbers, because I want y'all to make sure that I'm not calling cap on what I say. So Marcus Davenport, through 1 game, as we pull up the stats, wow. Marcus Davenport through 1 game. He has 1 games played. Now, he did have 3 total tackles, and 2 of them were solo. So that's a step in the right direction. But if you look at his best career year, which was 2022, there was no Trey Hendrickson that year. He was already with the Cincinnati Bengals. He played 15 games. He had 29 total tackles. He had 13 by himself. And the number that we care about the most is sacks. The best year of his career game-wise, you can see here 15 games. He got half a sack. It's almost like if he plays more, he does less. So this is the guy that we put the faith in. A guy that was coming off of a half-sack season, a 2-sack season, before he was a Detroit Lion. I don't understand why this number here, after these 2 numbers being what they are, would make us have faith in this dude. So this is not necessarily about Marcus Davenport. It's about the lack of a pass rush steal. The Detroit Lions believe that they have the people, and we're going to see. Caleb Williams he got sacked the most in the NFL last year, and the Minnesota Vikings were able to get a few themselves. So I expect the Detroit Lions to get a sack on Caleb Williams on Sunday, but the real test is going to come after that. The real test is going to come after that. when they play the Baltimore Ravens, right? Because the Buffalo Bills, let's see, how many times did the Buffalo Bills sack Lamar Jackson? Let's find out. Let's go back to the ESPN list here, and we'll go from the bottom. The Buffalo Bills sacked Lamar twice. That's outstanding because guess what? In 2023, we didn't touch the dude. We did not touch the dude. In 2023, we did not sack Lamar Jackson. So will this year be the difference? We'll see. But first, we got to get through the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you think about the pass rush and the Lions being one of 3 teams to not get a sack in week 1. All right, let me pull y'all back in, and then we'll wrap up the show. That's looking like a scary game. KYP, know your personnel. They need to stop as well from dropping Hutch and Davenport in coverage. Yeah, you know what? I heard about that before I even left the stadium. Man. What's up, D? Says on the bright side, Davenport is on pace to nearly double his tackles. Practice report is out today. Yes, that is correct. That's an L in Baltimore. Yes, Leo already had us losing to Baltimore before we started the season. I just don't think we can contain, and we played him very well in 2021, that first year when the cheating 66-yard field goal, we played him very well, but I think it's going to be different. If we don't sack Caleb Williams, then we don't sack any QB. Hey, run, that is 100%. Derek, look up Mike Payton's 4 trade ideas for the Lions. Okay, Schiff, I will definitely do that, man. I'll look up that and probably make a video. Denver Broncos sacked Cam Ward 6 times. Yeah, man, we had just talked about how they lead the NFL in sacks after 1 week, and they led the NFL in sacks last year. All right, so I'm going to get a graphic, right? And it's probably going to be like real talk of the day or something like that. So there's we'll end the show with some real talk. And I got interrupted last time because of the trade for Micah Parsons, but I wanted to say something to y'all. So, you can't control what kind of traits that you get, right? You don't know how tall you're going to be. You don't know how big your nose is going to be. You have no control over that. And it's some unfortunate stuff that you don't have control over. And one of the things that you don't have control over is hair loss. You don't. My father-in-law has a head full of hair. He's 80 years old. Head full of hair. It's crazy, man. And I started noticing that my hair was thinning back when I was 26 years old. I showed my dad. I'm like, yo, I think my hair's thinning. And he's like, nah, it's not thinning. Your dad's, man, be trying to throw stuff to the wind or whatever. And I'm like, yes, it is, right? So I neglected to hop on it right away. But that was almost 20 years. Oh, my God. That literally was 20 years ago. That's crazy. Oh, that was 20 years ago. So they've made medical advancements and stuff like that. And there was a time where I was like, I would never get a hair transplant. Now I actually would entertain it. But if there's any guys out there that are suffering, if they see hair thinning, it's a big deal. I read that. I saw an interview. So John Cena was wrestling and the whole internet was talking about his bald spot. And what wound up happening is John had already had a hair transplant, but when you have a hair transplant, your body sheds and it becomes bare and then it grows back. And he got clowned. He actually was depressed by it. And I was thinking like, yo, why does it mean so much to us? Why does it mean so much to us? I don't know the answer for that, but I will say that if you start noticing thinning hair, you can do something about it. You can get on, I don't want to say what they are because YouTube is funny about that stuff, but there are preventative things that you can do, supplements that you can take, medications you can take, but I don't know why it's such a big deal to us, but it is. It really is, man. You see old pictures, you be like, dang, man. Then you see a dude that's like 100 years old with a full head of hair. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at the other guys that's like 26 years old and they got straight one Norwood 10, no hair. If you know the Norwood, y'all don't know, but y'all can look it up. So my suggestion for y'all was any of the guys out there, man, get on some type of pre-hair loss treatment the moment you notice. If you see the crowns, the temporal thinning, if you see it, get on it. If you see the crown, get on it. Try to get on it as soon as possible. Don't ignore it. Don't comb it over. Don't pretend it ain't there because it is. And you can do things about it to help slow it down. There's no cure yet, but hopefully one day it will be, man. So anyway, shout out to Deion Sanders, man. Deion Sanders, he when he was on Game Day Prime, he had the bald head and he just showed up with hair, got a hair transplant. So this is not an infomercial or anything like that, but I don't know why it is, man. It's a couple things that mean some stuff to us. One, I can't say on air, but everybody know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And the other one is hair, for whatever reason, man. Hair is such a big deal. It makes us so uncomfortable. But it's just the process of life, man. It really is. It really, I don't know if it comes from your mama, from your daddy, if it's passed down, but I wanted to put my 46-year-old knowledge to y'all and say, if your hair is thinning, please get on something preventative to try to slow it down, and it'll make you feel better. All right. Let me see what y'all talking about. You sounded like an in-ad video, but I'm like 50. LeBron special hair special, only $93.99. Oh, so listen, did LeBron actually get a hair transplant? Some people just go bald, no fighting it. Hey, yes, if that's what you want. If that's what you want, fine. Like, you have a choice in the matter. Absolutely. So when I was 26, I started shaving my head at 26. And I was like, and then when I was like 36, I was just like, man, I want to grow my hair again. You know what I'm saying? So I started getting on minoxidil. I said it anyway. I started getting on preventative products and stuff like that. Let me see where we at. If the pass rush, the O-line is a bigger problem, in my opinion. Well, you late than a mug. That's funny. So wait, but here's the thing, and we'll wrap the show up. They both problems. I mean, but what are you supposed to do? Listen, Caleb, we're not going to win either way. A crappy O-line or a crappy D-line. We're not going to win. They both problems. They're both problems. Has your clothing company with the brand on it, have you been getting any polo shirts? Justin May the rapper, not yet. I can't grow a beard, Unc. LOL, I have a full head of hair, but can't grow a beard. Yeah, you know what, man? It's funny, man, because like people can't grow beards. And I'm like, how? Right? So anyway, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have some type of real life segment at the end of every show, man. I appreciate it, everybody coming out. Shout out to John for taking one for the team. We'll be back on Friday as well we'll talk about the Chicago Bear game. Have a great Wednesday, and I will see you then. But fellas, somebody today is going to watch this video, and they're going to go straight to the store and try to get some preventative stuff. If you accept it, then that's cool. If you don't, if you got to pick a side. If you losing your hair, you got to commit, because it's going to be too late. If you like, man, I'm a shave my head, man. And then 10 years go past, you like, man, I wish I could have. Then you ran out of time. If you want to keep your hair, you got to try to keep it. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, that non-sponsored. I will catch y'all in, we'll be live tomorrow on Detroit Lions Syndicate. And yeah, I'll see y'all then.
Off the neighbors, whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the day, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the day, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on the feet. Yeah.